here because the best burger in the D, the Avenue Sports Grill, was voted that online on our website, WDFN.com, and Chef Mark is here with his burgers. We'll give you some secrets. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I am not a great cook by any stretch of the imagination. But I, on occasion, watch the Food Network when they're making meat. And I have taken mental notes on the way they prepare steaks and burgers and certain types of pastas and pork tenderloin. And the last 2 nights I've grilled pork tenderloin and steak on the grill. And I've done it the way I've been shown through television. I know, tell me about it, BT. And my kids devoured it. They're like, Dad, you are becoming the grilling man. So today I'm going to learn from Chef Mark, the best in the business, from Avenue Sports Grill. And next time I make burgers, I'm going to wow them with that too. Huh? So my kids are more fired up than anybody else. Look at John Krieger back there, hovering. I smell burgers. I heard Chef Mark is in the building.
I haven't seen Chris Knox.
I mean, for God's sakes, you know? I mean, Chris Knox takes me out to Avenue Sports Grill last week. He's got this beautiful Jeep, and he can't wait to sit down and dive into a Chef Mark burger, and now he's back for more.
I've never seen Ryan here this early, ever.
Oh, I know. Did you notice that? Oh, that SOB heard it on the air. He's like, oh, I heard Chef Mark's going to be here. I'm a hungry son of a gun.
696 doesn't have traffic and flat tires.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out. Hey, my alarm went off. 248-848-1130. Pound 1130 on your cell phone. I'm just breaking. All right, 9:50, welcome back. Ryan Armani's in the bullpen. He's ready to go at 10 o'clock. This is the time of year, depending on the grill you own, where you grill on a consistent basis. You've seen it. I mean, friends are out constantly grilling in the backyard. But just because you can grill doesn't mean that you can cook well. Doesn't mean that you can do a good job of making your family happy with whatever it is on the grill. Well, Chef Mark from Avenue Sports Grill, voted best burger, and you can understand why when you taste it, is here to join us and tell us a little bit about the keys to grilling. And I find it very interesting. The reason your burger is so good, Chef Mark, is because it's not just your typical burger, right? It's a blend of different meats.
Correct. It's a blend of different meats that you wouldn't typically use for a burger.
All right. So how does somebody at home try to figure out how much to include in making this type of burger?
A lot of it is experiment. We tried with, over the years, I've tried different meats because with a burger you want that taste as well as feel, which a lot of people don't understand with a burger when you're biting through it. You want it to feel a certain way. The fall apart. You don't want a burger to just crumble apart. You know, it has to have that right texture. So over the years, we developed a mix of brisket, short rib, sirloin, certain percentages of each to give it flavor, feel, texture, and you know it goes a little bit beyond that, just that ground chuck or ground round patty.
So you make the patty, and you find the proper balance, and that's kind of a hit or miss, and obviously you've done this for a long time, so you understand exactly what the texture is supposed to be. How do you go about preparing it then? What about the spices? And I don't want your secret ingredients, but what about the spices? When do you add them? How much do you add them? At what point in the building a process of a burger do you add them? Things like that.
No, you don't like to patty it. You don't want to pack the patty.
You don't?
Too tough, no. You want to loosely form the burger.
Okay.
First of all.
Aren't you afraid it's going to fall apart when you put it on the grill?
No, that's part of that mixture of meats and the way that you conduct things. If you pack the patty too tightly,
yeah,
it actually is not going to have that texture when you bite through it. It's going to feel like a pre-packaged patty, even if you grind it yourself.
See, that's what I do. I pack it too tight then.
Right.
Okay.
You want to loosely form the burger. I would avoid putting any salt on it until right before you grill. It's a little bit of a debate. You know, the salt draws the moisture out of meat. Some people have a system of salting for 24 hours. I don't like to put any of that seasoning on until right before we grill.
Really? You don't? So you don't put the seasoning on right after you make the burgers and you let it sit, almost like a marinade. You don't do that.
Absolutely not.
Very interesting.
We season right before we put them on the grill. In our mixed burgers, like the Avenue burger, we put the Avenue spice in, the diced red onions, the minced applewood bacon in as we cook it. And then we actually loosely form the patty and cook it.
Okay, do you do anything to bind the burger together? Add some egg, add some crumbs, anything like that to bind it together? Nothing like that?
Nothing like that.
All right, so you put it on the grill. Now, I've always been taught, cook it low, flip it over numerous times.
No.
Right or wrong?
Absolutely not.
Okay, 0 for 3.
I think anytime you're cooking red meat at all, but especially in a burger, this is something we do unique. We use a garlic butter, and then we sear it at high heat on the flat top grill. We don't like to use the char because obviously you're losing juice when you use the char.
Okay.
Put it on, let it sit, 4 minutes or so, 3-4 minutes on each side depending on how you want it. Flip it once, and let it sit. Don't weight it, don't cover it, let it sit. We baste it in a little bit of garlic butter as we're cooking it.
Okay.
Flip it once, and then we melt the cheese or whatever the toppings are and place it on the bun.
Wow. Do you cut it at all
No.
to see what it's like inside?
No.
Or do you put a temperature gauge in it or anything like that?
Correct.
Wow. All right, you have a number of different kinds of burgers. This is probably the biggest audience we have in our producer studio because Chef Mark from Avenue Sports Grill is here, voted best burger, and you can understand why. It's absolutely phenomenal. You have a number of different burgers. Does every burger have the same, I know it doesn't have the same ingredients necessarily, but do you make it the same way?
The grind?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The burgers that we use are the same grind, right down to our sliders. We use our
Which
burger
I'm eating
grind
right now, by the way.
as well for our sliders. We don't just because it's a slider use a ground chuck or a ground round. It is our burger blend in our sliders.
Okay. So how far ahead will you make the blend? Let's say I want to make burgers for the kids tomorrow, okay? Because my wife's going to Taylor Swift, so I'm going to be at the grill. So I come home from the softball game. I want to make burgers for the kids, and I do what you say. I go to the market. I buy what? I'm buying ground chuck. I'm buying some brisket, and I'm buying some ribs. Is that what you're saying?
We get short rib,
Okay.
brisket, and sirloin.
Okay, sirloin. So I mix that together. I think I got the winning combination. How ahead of time before I put it on grill am I mixing that? Am I mixing it right away and then putting it on the grill, or what?
The process of pattying it.
Yes.
You want to patty?
Yeah.
I would patty it and let it sit in the fridge for maybe an hour or two.
Oh,
it helps
that
keep
long?
that form. It helps keep that form of that patty.
Okay.
You were talking about it falling apart.
Yes.
You patty it and let it sit in the refrigerator for an hour or two before you put it on the grill. It'll help keep the form of the burger.
Oftentimes you hear people talk about cooking a steak, and you season it, you grill it, top, bottom, and then put it in the oven for a little bit. Can you do the same thing with a burger?
Yes, you could do the same thing with a burger, but I would advise just letting it sit. You
Okay.
put it on that grill, let it sit for 3-4 minutes, flip it.
On high.
Another 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, you want it close to high. You want
Okay.
it's the purpose for the high heat, which a lot of people at home don't understand. Is you're not going to burn the meat if you're careful, but you want to put that sear on there so that the juices are locked into that meat. So sear one side, let it sit, depending on how you like your burgers.
Okay.
Medium well, 4 minutes each side. Typically for our 8-ounce patties will work, and then flip it,
Gotcha.
and then let it finish cooking on that other side.
Avenue Sports Grill has over 18 big screen TVs, and the number one, I can't say the beer, but it's a certain kind of beer that oftentimes considers themselves the king, a distributor in Metro Detroit. And it's an awesome place to check out a game, watch games. They have live entertainment on the weekends as well, and they have the best chef in the business, Chef Mark, who makes the best burgers, according to you folks on WDFN.com. I'm eating a slider right now. I'm not going to pretend I can duplicate this because I can't. But more goes into a burger than just the blend. You have a lot of different types of burgers, too. I mean, how many different burgers does Avenue Sports Grill offer?
We offer over 10 burgers.
Okay.
We do burgers on special as well, but typically our typical menu burgers, we offer over 10 different types of burgers.
Okay. And caramelized onions, I noticed, is a big thing for you. That's important. How do you make the caramelized onions, and at what point do you do that in the burger process?
We caramelize our onions ahead of time, daily.
Okay.
We have a certain recipe of spices, sugar, and a seasoned salt blend. And then we actually go through the process of caramelizing the onions ahead of time. The purpose for that is I want that caramelization on the onions, that natural sugar to come out. Sometimes if you're cooking these onions to order, you're pressed, you're busy, you don't get that caramelization. And I think that's key to the flavor in the onions on the burger. As you taste on the slider, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it really is. So without giving too many secrets away, what's in that caramelization? Are you talking brown sugar? What are you talking about?
Seasoned salt, granulated garlic, granulated onion, a few other spices, sugar. We do add just white sugar in the caramelization process. Then we make sure that we get that color. The caramelization is because the natural sugar is coming out and it looks like a caramel on the onion.
Exactly.
So we do that with our onions and our peppers.
What's your favorite burger you make? This slider's outstanding. I know Chris Knox had the Avenue burger, and after he got done picking his teeth, slobbering all over himself, and burping it up a couple times, he told me how great it was on the way home last week. There are some different kinds of burgers too, though. I mean, don't you have like the blue cheese or something like that?
We have a black and blue,
black
which
and
is
blue,
a blackened burger patty, bacon, blue cheese crumbles. We have an Italian, which is on ciabatta with balsamic vinaigrette, which we make, pesto, which we make. It has a couple fried cheese sticks on it, provolone, roasted red peppers. We have the gridiron, which is cream cheese, caramelized onions on grilled rye bread,
Wow.
6-pepper blend on the burger. We have the Mexican, which is unique in that it's all of the works toppings, Mexican flavored beef, and it's wrapped up in a tortilla as its shell, so you
cool.
eat it in that. We have a lot of unique burgers on the menu.
Yeah, there's no question. It's great stuff. Well, I appreciate you and Mike stopping by. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for bringing by some burgers. Congratulations on being named the best burger in Metro Detroit, and we'll be out to see you again, okay?
Thank you.
All right,
Absolutely.
good stuff.
Thank you to all WDFN listeners for voting us.
Yeah,
We couldn't have done without you guys.
it was a big turnout too. It was a really big turnout. We got to say goodbye because Ryan Armani is ready to step in. Let me give you the final results of our Michigan Credit Union League poll question of the day. Series tied at 2. Who wins the Cup, the Bruins or the Canucks? It's 50-50. So I think it's the first time we've ever had a tie. It's brought to you by the Credit Unions of Michigan. Find them at lovemycreditunion.org. All right, we're getting full. We're excited. Check it out. It really is cool. The Avenue Sports Grill. They have a website as well. You can check out their menu
Actually,
online.
Facebook.
And a Facebook, okay. And what is that, Mike? Can you give that real quick?
Facebook.com/Avenue Sports Grill, all one word, and it's grill with an E. So Avenue Sports Grill.
All right. Well, we'll look for that, and we'll be out to visit you again real soon.
Can't wait to have it.
Yeah, especially because of this great food. All right, Ryan and Ronnie is next. Have a great week.